We welcome you to downtown Houston, Texas, where the Padres begin a road trip. And we welcome you to Minute Maid Park. It's the Padres and Houston Astros in the first of three in a weekend series. Well, the Astros off to a tremendous start there, 6-1 on the year, and largely because of the play of Carlos Correa. Off to a .474 start with a home run, 8 RBIs. That's out of the gate so far on the young season. Eric Hosmer always loves taking on this Houston Astros team. In his career, a .348 average with a home run and 10 runs scored. We welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, the Padres are up against a very good team tonight. That's not telling you any news flash right there. These are the world champions, and this team is trying to repeat. Hard to do, but they've got a very good offense and a very good defense.
Can you say offensive juggernaut? It's the Houston Astros that led them to hoist that World Series trophy last year. Why? Well, they only averaged 5.5 runs per game. Pitching staffs loves that when you talk about a 1-2-3 like Springer, Bregman, Altuve. Chances of them getting on the board early is very, very good. They did it against the Yankees, and they won the crown against the Los Angeles Dodgers. But why? Highest slugging percentage of all baseball, but how about this? Lowest strikeout rate of all of Major League Baseball. Then you tie in the good pitching. Lance McCullers going tonight. The acquisition of Verlander, Dallas Keuchel, Giles, who closed out, which is a hodgepodge right now for A.J. Hinch. He has the luxury. He can do a lot of arms down there to close out ball games, so stay tuned for that. They've got everything going right here in the city of Houston right now.
Well, tonight on the mound for the Padres is Luis Perdomo, looking to bounce back after a tough outing against the Brew Crew.
I think the one thing Luis has to do tonight is be aggressive against an aggressive team that can score some runs and prove to the Houston Astros, hey, here's my stuff. See if you can really turn it around. Early on, mistakes. Anytime you get pitches up like that where he has to work down for the ground ball, it's going to flatten out. These big league hitters are going to turn it around very, very quickly. So, for Luis Perdomo tonight in Houston, where the ball has a tendency to jump, pound the sinker early, challenge these hitters for strikes. We hear it all the time. And then expand the strike zone with that nasty slider down into the lefties, possibly 40 strikeout. Is he on his game? Ground balls are his deal. In 62% in 2017, he led the National League in that category.
The Friars are fired up to take on this Houston Astros team. They're up for the challenge. Bob Scanlon checks in with Eric Hosmer and some of the Padres next from Houston.
That's why the roof is closed here at Minute Maid Park, the home of the 2017 World Series champions. The energy is great here, and it's not every season that you get an opportunity to match up against the World Series champions, but the Padres get that opportunity this season. And it's great because it brings out the best in players. They get a chance to compete against the world's best and find out what they've got. Now, is it a chance to learn about yourself as well? Absolutely, and here's what Eric Hosmer had to say about that.
I think you can learn a lot from a team like this. I think you know, not only the talent that they have on the field, but I think you look at different guys' approach, you look at different pitchers, the way they're attacking hitters, and I think over the course of 2 or 3 games, you walk away realizing why these guys are world champions. And I think it's a lot of things that you know, we can learn from these guys, but at the same time, it's going to bring out a competitiveness in us that you know, will hopefully take our game to the next level.
That it was inspiring to be able to play against the World Series champions, because when you look back, it was just 3 years ago that this team was at the end of 76 or worse lost seasons. What did they do? They turned it around in 2 years and brought themselves a World Series championship. The Padres are looking to do the same. Certainly inspiring. Coming up next, Luis Perdomo versus the champions. Lance McCullers Jr. going for the Astros. Luis Perdomo making his second start of the season for the Padres. Padres against the champs. Coming up next, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
You can kiss that one goodbye. Springer homers for the 4th straight game. That's in the air to left. Here comes Fisher. Astros win it.
An amazing year, a dream book year for the Houston Astros. And the Padres see them tonight as we welcome inside Minute Maid Park as we get ready for game 1 of the 3-game weekend series. All right, fans, chance to join forces with Saquon Pick the Stick. Weigh in on Twitter for a chance to win $25 in free play from Saquon Casino. Just hashtag I'm with the last name of the broadcaster you want to join forces with. If they win, you could win too on random winners selected nightly. Follow us at Fox Sports SD for more details. Well, the roof is closed here in Houston. And largely the reason it is closed, it's kind of been rainy and drizzly and raw here for a lot of the day. So temperature 76 degrees, southwest breeze at 11 miles per hour, forecast cloudy, but not going to take any chances. They will start this game with the roof closed. Your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers bring you the weather report.
Well, this place last year had a lot of electricity. I'm not talking to light the field. I'm talking about the fans hungry for a world championship. 7 games against the Yankees, 7 against the Dodgers, and you can feel the electricity here at Minute Maid Park tonight.
Andy Green's team coming in as we take a look at the San Diego County Toyota dealers lineup as Margot leads it off. And here comes the first pitch. That one is in there for strike one. Margot in center, Perella in left. Hosmer at first, Villanueva at third. Renfro in right is Suaje at second. Galvis at short. Spangenberg the DH and Hedges catching out of the 9 spot. Of course, we're in an American League park, so the DH in play here. Lance McCullers already 1-0 with a 3.38 earned run average, his second start of the year. And an 0-2 to Margot. They have sort of picked up where they left off to a 6-1 start for A.J. Hinch's team.
Hitting .281. That's number 1 in the American League, these Astros. They've got punch. They got everything covered as far as offensively speaking. Defensively.
Left side, Bregman in time to get Margot. Lance McCullers Jr. on the hill.
Well, if you like to see curveballs, this is your man. We can get into that a little later. You got a ground ball there to induce the ground ball. Curveball, fastball. And you see how he put curveball first? Because usually I go fastball, curveball, slider, change, but he throws more curveballs. He's aggressive in the zone. And if you remember watching the playoffs last year, he finished off the Yankees in Game 7 throwing 24 consecutive curveballs. He'll throw it anytime.
One down in the first for Jose Perella. And he grounds one left side, and Correa can't get it. It's into left. One out base hit for Jose Perella. Very wide turn at first, but he'll get back to the bag.
Let's take a look at the Astros defensively. Brought to you by Cadillac. In the outfield, left to right, Derek Fisher, a homegrown Astro. World Series MVP George Springer in center. In right field, Gold Glover Josh Reddick. On the infield, third to first, Alex Bregman, the LSU Tiger. 2015 Rookie of the Year Carlos Correa at short. Mr. Everything Altuve at second. Marwin Gonzalez at first. And behind the plate, 7-time All-Star Brian McCain.
1 out, 1 on. Eric Hosmer standing in.
It's pretty good defense, Don.
Oh, it is. Pretty good everything. Defense, pitching, offense. They do it all. I mentioned off the top, Hosmer's always enjoyed facing Houston for whatever reason. This year so far in his first year in the Padres uniform at .259, no homers and 2 runs batted in. Very different looking alignment than we've seen from other teams so far against Hosmer. First of all, not a full shift on the right side, but the outfield is where it really stands out. Center fielder George Springer is well into left center, and they're playing for him to go the other way.
Looks like they're banking on something up in the zone that Hosmer is going to put it that way. Short porch in left, the Crawford box is above that auxiliary scoreboard at 315. But you're right, Don. I don't think I've ever seen a center fielder like that against Hosmer. Springer, like you said, is shading that left center field gap.
But you know, it makes sense because a lot of his home runs are opposite field shots. But we've not seen either the Milwaukee Brewers or the Colorado Rockies, the first 2 teams the Padres have seen this year, defend this way against Eric Hosmer. It will be interesting to see how each team decides to go about it from a scouting standpoint. A.J. Hinch, incredible year. Went through a couple tough years here with Houston and then the championship last year. Former Padre executive.
Yes. Good baseball man right there. Even though it's a fastball count, McCullers will throw the curveball.
Elevates at 95, and it's a full count.
Yeah, and the curveball doesn't take away from the heat or from McCullers. You see a lot of guys, they'll throw a lot of breaking balls, and they say that it takes away from the velocity, right? But McCullers, he can still get the humpy hump working there at 95.
Able to get Margot to ground down. Perella singled off him. Perella now leaving, and that ball's in the dirt. Ball 4 to Hosmer. So Perella was running at first base, but it's ball 4. And the Padres have 2 on with 1 away. Let's take a look at the keys to the game brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Quite an opportunity for the Padres to get on the board. So why not throw McCullers a curve? See where I'm going there? A lot of curveballs, but hey, throw him a curve. Get on the board early. Maybe rattle him a little bit, and then pick up Perdomo with those bats. Give him an early lead. He needs to bounce back from his last outing against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Christian Villanueva batting in the cleanup spot. A 2 on, 1 away. And he'll take a look at strike one. Villanueva, of course, the 3 home run game as part of the homestand for the Padres. The 3 hits he has on the young season, 3 for 13. Brian McCann, the catcher, out in front of home plate, reeling off some signs. For the rest of the infielders, if there's a double steal, it almost looked like DJ Rayburn, the home plate umpire, charged him with a visit. That's interesting.
Yes.
That's the case. Throw into center field as they checked on Perella at second base. Perella will stop at third. Hosmer at second on the errant throw by McCullers. He fires that one into right center.
Those are the mistakes that any team has to take advantage of against these Astros. The spin, the throw, and McCullers just working under it a little bit. Ball tailing away from Altuve. 390 feet for Perella and Hosmer.
So a golden opportunity here in the first inning for the Padres. See if they can take advantage. They hit a walk and an error charge to the starting pitcher, Lance McCullers. Perella at third, Hosmer at second, and Villanueva goes after that.
Yeah, you commit with that swing, it's tough to hold up. You can bank on a curveball here, a 1-2 count. He'll throw it 86% of the time.
Infield all of a sudden coming in now for Houston. They just changed their defensive alignment. They're in all the way around now. In the dirt, and it's 2-2.
We're banking on that curveball down and away. If McCullers can locate that, you try. Villanueva kind of likes to pull the ball, right? You get a weak grounder left side, trying to stop that run at third base from scoring.
Full count.
It's more of a slurvy curve. It's more of a bigger slider type curve, but they in fact call it a curveball because it's got that sweeping motion. It's not like your 12-6 curveball that goes straight up and down.
Villanueva strikes out, big K for Lance McCullers, 2 down. Well, he needed something that didn't include contact, and he gets it by striking out Villanueva.
There's the curveball, down and away, swing and a miss. That's a beautiful thing for McCullers. If he makes contact, probably a weak rounder.
So 2 down, second and third, and Hunter Renfroe coming up. Renfroe has been starting every day in right field since Will Myers going on the DL. And this will get away. Here comes Perella from third base. He will score as Hosmer takes third, and the Padres take advantage of some mistakes here in the inning by the Astros, and San Diego on top 1-0.
Almost looked like a cross-up. McCann sets up away, spread stance. Yes, that's a cross-up. He's anticipating breaking ball. He was spreading his legs like that, anticipating a breaking ball in the dirt. Threw the fastball, couldn't make the adjustment. Padres take advantage of 2 mistakes this inning.
Pass ball charged to McCann. That allows Perella to score. Ball and a strike to Renfroe. So the Padres striking first. Renfroe 4 for 14 so far in the year. So looking for that first home run of the year for Renfroe. On the ground to third base, gathered by Bregman. That'll end the inning, but the Padres get a run in the first. The world champion Astros are coming up next. Honda dealers. Visit us at SDHondaDealers.com. By Petco, where the pets go. And by your Southern California Cadillac dealers. We welcome you back to Houston, Texas. The Padres have jumped on top 1-0 as we head to the last of the first inning. And the Astros coming up here against Perdomo, and George Springer leading it off. Springer off to a .214 start on the year. As Perdomo trying to bounce back after a tough first outing to begin the year.
You know, the constant chatter we've heard regarding Luis Perdomo is he needs to attack, be on the offensive, go right after these hitters. 3-0 doesn't work. Oh, did he go? Thought maybe.
Lined and caught it short by Galvis. One down here in the last of the first inning. Right in the neighborhood, a very short-handed shortstop, Freddie Galvis.
This ball shellacked. That ball's hit, looks like on the left side of Galvis, and it's coming towards him because it's hit so hard. He positions himself to gather that ball on his left side. Said sure-handed, you got that right.
One down, Alex Bregman coming up, third baseman for Houston. Off to a .200 start to begin his year. And the recipient of strike one. Last time the Padres played the Astros, got to go back to April 27th through the 29th of 2015. That was at Petco Park. Padres were swept by the Astros. Padres last played in Houston June 25th through the 28th of 2012, and they split a 4-game series. It's been a while since you've been here, Mudley.
It's been a long time. How quickly time passes. Always loved coming to this ballpark. Of course, the roof is just unbelievable. You know, the years in the Astrodome. Was that the 8th wonder of the world, right?
Yes. I never had the chance to work there.
Really?
Nope. The Astrodome.
It was amazing. Pitcher's ballpark. Even when they kind of moved the fences in, I believe they moved the fences in after a while, and it was still considered a pitcher's ballpark. But you've got the 315 line there above the auxiliary scoreboard, the Crawford boxes. Crawford Street out beyond Minute Maid Park on that side of the ball diamond. They took away the hill.
Yes, Tal's Hill is gone out there in center field.
Tal Smith, former executive for the Houston Astros.
Swing and a miss, and a good start for Perdomo. There's his first K of the night, 2 down. Well, let's check out the Houston Astros starting 9. We've seen George Springer, who is in center field for A.J. Hinch. Alex Bregman at third base, batting second, just struck out. Jose Altuve coming up. Second baseman Carlos Correa at short with Josh Reddick in right. Marwin Gonzalez at first. It's Evan Gattis, the DH, with Brian McCann, the veteran catcher, batting 8th, and Derek Fisher in left field for the Astros. 2 down here in the first inning. Altuve off to a great start, 414 on the year.
You know, the first pitch of the at-bat to Bregman, he dotted a fastball at 92 right at the knees. Couldn't have placed it any better. It sets up the whole at-bat. It's exactly what Luis needs to do.
Interleague play, 421 average, setting the tone and the pace in that category for Altuve last year.
This guy's a treat to watch, isn't he?
Love watching him play. 2017 AL MVP.
You're going to win a lot of bets. You see him walking down the street, and a buddy of yours say, hey, see that guy across the street? AL MVP. You'd win a lot of money on that one.
In there for a strike. The longest contract in franchise history in March, a 7-year deal. And he takes the walk here. Down to first base he goes with 2 down.
Defense this evening in Houston behind Luis Perdomo is brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Outfield left to right, Perella, Margot, Renfro. On the infield, third to first, Villanueva, Galvis, Asuaje, Hosmer. Behind the dish tonight, putting down the signs for Luis, Austin Hedges.
2 down, Altuve at first, and it brings up Carlos Correa. .474, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in.
I mentioned a little bit ago, Don, how time flies, but I remember watching the draft on MLB Network when 2012, when this kid, Carlos Correa, was picked. And they just raved about this kid from Puerto Rico. And all the tools that he had. And what do you know now? Paying dividends at the big league level, part of a world championship.
23-year-old, an all-star for the first time in his career last year. Hit at .315 for the year. Check on Altuve, back to the bag at first.
A little more of the 4-1-1 on right-hander Luis Perdomo. A 2-seam fastball, slider, and a changeup, and he needs to attack the zone. 2-0 is not going to work. He needs to get quickly ahead with either of his pitches, the sinker or the slider.
We'll check Altuve back again.
And when he's on his game, he can get a ground ball with the best of them. He led that category of 62% last year for the National League. Second baseball behind Marcus Stroman.
Trying a few different tactics here to keep Altuve close. Hold on to baseball a long time, throwing over, doing what he can. In there for a strike, and it's 0-2.
There's not a lot of negatives about this Houston Astro team, but every team has their areas to where they need improvement. If you were to say this about the Astros, and it's not a bad thing, they're very aggressive on the bases running. They can run into some outs. Not a bad thing because you like to be aggressive. Another thing is left-handed help out of the bullpen. They're kind of light in that area. The only left-hander they have is Tony Sipp. Right-handed heavy in that Astros bullpen.
Perdomo ahead 0-2. Altuve with a little bigger lead that time and checking on him again. Perdomo trying to bounce back. First outing against the Milwaukee Brewers. Went 4 innings, allowed 5 runs on 7 hits. He walked 4. Did strike out 7. First career start against the Astros. Altuve goes. Pitch is swung on and missed, and that'll end the inning. So Perdomo able to strike out Correa to end things in the first. We played one. Padres have a 1-0 lead. Tonight's interleague matchup is brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers. Back at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Padres have a 1-0 lead as we head to the second inning. That's McCullers Jr. back on the mound for the Astros. Great crowd on hand again tonight here in Houston. Play night baseball tomorrow, day game on Sunday. Suaje leading it off, grounding it right side into a shift. It's Correa throws him out at first base. So Suaje jumping on that first pitch. Tired here in the second inning, and that'll bring in Freddie Galvis.
You know, you might see early swinging if you get the heater, because you want to avoid that curveball. We mentioned it that McCullers gets a lot of strikeouts via that curveball, so you get that number 1 of the first 2 pitches, you might be jumping on it.
Galvis with a good start to his Padres career. .333 with a home run, 5 runs batted in the first 7 games.
Okay, you know when you're old category. It's worth mentioning, but I played with Lance McCullers Sr. in San Diego. Lance and I were teammates, and now to see his son, which is great, pitching at the big league level and doing what he's doing,
makes you old.
It's unbelievable.
That's in the dirt, and it's 2-1 to Galvis.
Lance, his dad, was dubbed Baby Goose because remember Rich Gossage was the closer, and Lance Sr. had the live arm, and they were kind of grooming him to possibly be a closer. He pitched back in 1985 to 1988 with the San Diego Padres.
That's ball 4. Freddie Galvis on with a walk to begin things. Down to first he goes. He's reached base safely in all 8 games in the year so far. Galvis aboard with 1 out. Built for Baseball, presented by T-Mobile. Best network for streaming baseball, because your stadium should be where you make it. Second walk given up by McCullers in his outing. 1 out, 1 on, and it brings up Corey Spangenberg. DHing in tonight's game as part of this interleague action.
I'd have to think it's a different mindset rather than going out there, you grab the leather, go play your position, and then you look at the lineup card, and as opposed to just sitting on the bench when your team's out there playing defense.
A lot of guys who go back and look at video, look at that last at bat. DHing is not for everybody. It seems that it's a different mindset, and that's all you're worried about. And you're never worried about defense.
You saw it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you obsess over each at bat, and you don't have any kind of diversion whatsoever. Like going out to play the field.
Yeah. Well, you could think Ron Blomberg, right? First DH with the Yankees. Was it Bloomberg or Blomberg? I thought it was Blomberg.
I don't know.
Bloomberg?
Bloomberg.
I stand corrected. Because there's 1-0, right? Anyway, he was the first DH.
Cut by Spangenberg. 2-2.
Of course, the argument, pro DH, no DH. I like the pitcher hitting.
I do too. It's a very different game too. It really is, from the American League to the National League. And the strategy that goes into it. In the American League, there's very little.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not pinch hitting a great deal either.
Bench players better get some starts every now and then to stay fresh, right?
Absolutely. Bench player in the National League, you have a chance to at least get an at bat every.
Remember last year I mentioned that. I think it'd be pretty cool when we traveled to the American League cities like now, where they would incorporate the pitcher hitting and swap it. The American League team comes to San Diego, then you play by the DH rules to give the hometown fans a feel. Of course, this was a National League city for many, many years, so they know what that's all about.
1 out, 1 on. Corey Spangenberg with a full count. We'll see if Galvis gets a start. He does. He takes off. Spangenberg strikes out, and Galvis, he's out at second base. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play. 1-0 Padres.
Times it can get too quick and it can get too slow. So just monitoring his tempo in between pitches and making him be aggressive. He's got great stuff. He's got an outstanding sinker, as everybody knows. And when he's aggressive and he's keeping his tempo at the right pace, then he's usually having success.
That's Austin Hedges talking about Luis Perdomo. Now, Austin has caught him 18 times. This is his 18th time catching him. he knows what the tempo needs to be, and it's not so much the tempo within his delivery, it's in between the pitches, guys, and so far it looks like it's pretty good tonight. He's had good aggressive command of that fastball, and that slider has been absolutely outstanding in the first inning. Let's hope he can keep it going.
Has been pretty sharp so far, Scan. So here he is into his second inning. Josh Reddick leading it off here for the Astros. And Reddick will take strike two.
So you got to find that happy medium. Too quick, too slow. Find the middle and find it quickly.
Did he go? No. Check the third base umpire, Jim Wolf. I think the only Astro to have faced Luis Perdomo in the past. Done pretty well. 4 for 5 with a home run against Perdomo. Otherwise, a new venture for a lot of these Astros facing Luis Perdomo.
And if he's on top of his game, obviously, I think advantage Luis.
Yeah.
And look at that swing. The count was 1-2. A pitch that was off the plate. And Reddick it was an emergency swing, all arms.
Two strikeouts in the first inning. Did walk about her in Altuve. Reddick fouls it off, stays alive.
He pulled off that one. That's 95. A little extra giddy up from Luis Perdomo.
Down and in. Puts him down. Full count. .353 start to the year for Reddick. He's been hot. And he continues to be hot. Laces this into right field. Manfred gets to it quickly and fires it back in. It's a long single for Josh Reddick to start the bottom of the second inning.
That was a good at-bat for Reddick. He battled. Having him in the hole, having 2 strikes, and that one just catches too much in the plate, middle in. Nice short compact swing out in front, pulling that baseball, and he wins the war there. He had him 0-2, that at-bat.
Lead runner on for the Astros here in the second. Marwin Gonzalez, first baseman, standing in on the left side. Christian Villanueva, the lip of the grass at third. In case he entertains any thoughts of bunting, and we'll take strike one. His first home run of the season on Monday night. Solo shot off Chris Tillman. First home run since his game-tying ninth inning solo home run off Kenley Jansen in Game 2 of the 2017 World Series. 29 years old now, coming off a career year. A lot of these Astros had career years.
That's what it takes sometimes, right?
Yep. On the ground towards shortstop. Galvis will shuffle to second for one on to first. Not in time. Not hit hard enough. They do get the lead runner in Reddick, though, for the first out of the second inning.
Sometimes the ball's not hit hard enough, and it looks like Gonzalez getting down the line nicely from the left side. Nice shovel pass. Asuaje hanging in there nicely. Boy, good secondary lead also by Josh Reddick.
One out, one on, and Evan Gattis, the DH. .261, no homers, 3 runs batted in.
I love this guy. It's he just sees ball, hit ball, just grip it, rip it, no batting gloves. Remember the cartoon Flintstones?
Yes.
Remember Bam Bam?
Yes.
He just carried that big club around and just beating it on it. That's Evan Gaddis. He just wants to beat every baseball that comes his way and just see how far he can hit it.
A 4-game hitting streak snapped here on Tuesday night.
He should come up to the plate in a flannel shirt and with an axe in his hand.
Like a lumberjack?
Yeah, just cutting down trees with one swipe.
Foul back. Let's check in with Scan.
High school, he just got really disillusioned when he didn't get drafted. He ended up doing different jobs, including a janitor at one point. He also worked at a Pizza Hut, also worked at a ski resort for a little while. He did a bunch of different things until his stepbrother finally talked him into returning to baseball. He went to a JC, hit very well there, hit 400, got back on the radar screen in a hurry. Guys, it's an amazing story of quite a comeback.
Sure is, and a World Series champion.
Love that.
That'll miss, and it evens here. Actually, it's 3-2 now. DHing. 4th full count already for Perdomo. Runner goes, pitches low. That's ball 4. Second walk allowed by Perdomo. Now the Astros have 2 on with 1 away. And Perdomo in behind the hill in the midst of a meeting with himself.
Yeah, the one thing that sticks out, the 0-2 to Josh Reddick, he's aboard. He got erased on that fielder's choice, but a lot of pitches, deep counts. Last time out against Milwaukee, 4 innings, 4 walks, which resulted into 5 runs. All earned.
Gonzalez at second, Gaddis at first, 1 out. And Brian McCann takes strike 1. Veteran catcher off to a 4-17 start. All these Astros seem to be off to very good offensive starts. It's 5 for 12. And down 0-2.
Very nice. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Heater for strike 2. One of my nuggets, right? Expand the zone with the breaking ball, or you can expand the zone with the fastball too.
Close pitch.
Down the middle doesn't count tonight. Wow.
1-2 instead, with 1 out and 2 on. Major leaguer for the 12th year is Brian McCann, of course, Atlanta Brave, New York Yankee, Houston Astro.
7-time All-Star. Quite a career.
34-year-old in his 2nd year with the Astros. In the air to center field. Margot is out there waiting. Makes the catch for out number 2. No advance for the base runners, and Margot hits his cutoff man, and Galvis at short, 2 down. Last year for the Astros, they get off to that tremendous start. I mean, they were ahead by a bunch of games, and it became a tough thing, I think, for A.J. Hinch to keep the team really focused as the year went on, in the second half especially, when they already, West was won a long time before they got to the end of the year, and then he was worried about the end of the year and having to flip the switch into the playoffs. Wasn't a problem.
Maintaining that intensity, there's something to be said for that.
Two down, 2 on, and Derek Fisher. I mean, they were too good for a while. Slap foul to the backstop. Perdomo ahead here, 0-2. Next pitch will be the 25th of the inning. Sure, 24-year-old made his first career opening day roster this year with his MLB debut last year. And he takes strike 3. Nicely done by Luis Perdomo. Third strikeout for Perdomo, done with 2. 1-0 Padres. It's time now for our Valley View Casino trivia question.
Love trivia. What do you got?
Jose Altuve is one of 8 players in Major League history to win the batting title, MVP, and World Series title in the same season. And the most recent player for Altuve to do it. Here's a check swing foul off the bat of Austin Hedges.
Just to give our viewers a little nugget of information, when we travel on our charters, we talk ball. Last night, producer Jason Lewis, you and I, and Jesse Agler were talking about that. So we're not going to give away the answer.
But we know the answer. But it took a lot of discussion though.
Jason posed us the question.
Yeah.
He was quizzing us, as he always does prior to playing a new team, to sharpen our skills. And I believe I came up with the answer. Sorry about it.
Yeah. You're not looking for credit or anything, are you?
No.
No. Pat on the back.
It's a good question, though.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen that often.
1-2 to Hedges. Did he go? No. Sam Holbrook, first base umpire.
That's tough to lay off. As I mentioned earlier, it's kind of a sweeping, harder curveball. Let's take a look. Does Austin go?
1 for 18 start to the year for Hedges. Started off spring training very well. 4 homers in his first 4 games. And struggled towards the end of spring training and has kind of carried it into the regular season. Takes a walk here, though, to begin things in the 3rd inning. 3rd free pass given up by Lance McCullers. Some guys like pitching at home, and McCullers certainly one of them. We look at the home road splits for Lance McCullers.
Well, what in the Dorothy Gale is going on? Dorothy Gale, of course, Wizard of Oz. Surprised he's not wearing red ruby slippers out there, clicking his heels and saying, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home." And it's not a dream. It's a reality for this kid.
And we're not in Kansas.
Toto.
Margot grounded out third base in the first inning, 0 for 1. Astros double play depth with nobody out. And a grounder right side. Altuve will have one play. It's at first. His momentum and that ball carried him over to the first base side of second. Had no chance really to spin around and do anything with Hedges at second base. So he gets Margot 4-3. And Hedges takes second base. One out, runner at second for Jose Pirela. He's got the only Padres hit on the night, a single to left field in the first inning.
Boy, if Jose can stay on that breaking ball, because you're going to get a heavy dose of them, and think right center field, right field line, even one of those check swings, but with the intent of going the opposite way to drive in that run. Looks like the outfield playing just a little bit, a shade to go the other way in the outfield. Two breaking balls in a row, down and away.
Colors wants a new baseball. He'll get one. 42 pitches deep in his outing through 2 1/3 innings. Colors been throwing hard. Mid-90s. Off walk by Hedges. Margot grounds out to second. So Hedges takes second. He's there with one out. Padres got a run in the first, and that run was scored by Pirela, who's now at the plate. Rolled over, foul. Will do it again. Colors a little bit more deliberate here with the runner at second base. Looked at him. Now deals with the pitch outside. Colors a 24-year-old. Resides in Houston, and this one is coming back here hot. Wow.
We just got buzzed.
That was pretty hot. Got it right from my grill. Ended up. We just got buzzed in the booth here, and you can buzz the booth SD. Hashtag buzz the booth SD. To ask Mark Grant anything you'd like.
It says Mark Anton.
It does. But you're the guy that answers most of the questions. You're the answer man.
Breaking ball.
And Pirela goes fishing. Strikes out. Third strikeout for Lance McCullers. 2 down. Our Kia drive to success. Eric Hosmer, 348, highest career average against the Astros. Pedroia on top in that category, 377. And the Ramirez, Joey Votto, then Eric Hosmer with Ryan Braun right in behind him.
Yeah, that's a good list.
Yes, it is. It's a Kia drive to success. And a swing and a miss. Baffled on that one for strike one.
Overall, Lance McCullers Jr. is going to throw the curveball 44% of the time. Four-seam fastball 32% of the time. You get a lot of check swings like that, not full commitments.
You think you see it, and you kind of doubt
Yeah.
yourself somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. A little 96 in off the plate to straighten you up a little bit. But he's got the type of breaking ball after seeing him to where it's really effective, where it starts over the heart of the plate and then goes down to that back foot for the lefty. That's a pitch that's gold from the colors.
Hosmer with a pretty good cut, but he's down 1-2. Colors last year 7-4, 22 starts. Colors has thrown 50 pitches. Padres have Hedges at second with 2 down and a 1-2. On the ground to first base, and Marwin Gonzalez will flip to McCullers for the out that ends the top of the 3rd inning. 1-0 Padres.
Really being a big part of the rebuild, just being a positive experience for fans to either watch when they can or come to the ballpark or just grab a hold of something to be proud of during one of the most horrific times in our city's history. So our team really connected with the city really connected with our players, and we had a historic run to win the first ever championship. That a lot of the energy was provided around wanting to do something good after something so bad.
That's Astros manager A.J. Hinch talking about how the community rallied around this baseball team after Hurricane Harvey, a natural disaster that was devastating to the area. And really the fact that the fans could come out and cheer for their ball club made a huge difference, and bringing a championship to the city didn't hurt as well. And the Astros actually honoring that moment on their championship ring. On the side of the ring, there's a depiction of the downtown skyline on top of the wall in left field, symbolizing how this team supported this city throughout that disaster. Guys?
All right, Scan, thanks very much. George Springer has started the 3rd inning with a single. Second hit off Perdomo. And on the side of the Astros ring, Houston strong. And they really did rally around the city. Beautiful ring.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the detail, it's incredible. I was told 118 diamonds for each win of the year, including the playoffs and World Series.
Alex Bregman will take a look at ball 1. Bregman struck out swinging in the first inning, one of 3 strikeouts for Perdomo, and that first pitch called a strike, so it's 0-1. Snap throw to first, and back safely is Springer.
That's a nice play with the front door open with the right-handed hitter. Clear shot down to first base for Austin Hedges. And Hosmer also getting back to the bag quickly for the snap tag.
Rattled foul off to the right, out of play. Strikeout victim in the first. Batting here with Springer at first and nobody out. Astros have had runners in every inning. They've left 3 men on through the first 2. Last pitch at 94 miles an hour for Perdomo.
This guy Bregman's a grinder. He grinds out at bats. He's one of those guys that gets the uni dirty. You know what you're going to get. Great effort defensively, offensively, every time.
Hard throw over. Just handcuffed. Hosmer at first base. Proceed to first.
That's some giddy up.
Outfield playing for Bregman to go the other way. And he takes strike 3. That froze him, almost like he was looking for something else. Second time Bregman has struck out. Perdomo with 4 strikeouts as out number 1 of the 3rd inning.
Don, I think you're right. Look at the body language from Bregman. That is a fastball right down the middle, belt buckle high. He's looking for a wrinkle. And before he can pull the trigger, he's walking back to the dugout.
1 on, 1 out. Here's Jose Altuve. Go to first and back to the bag safely is Springer. Altuve a walk in the first inning. 1 of 2 served up by Perdomo in his outing. Fastball consistently at 94 miles an hour. Throw over again. Been very concerned with Springer, but you have to be. In the air to right. Manfred coming in. That's going to fall for a base hit. Springer's headed for third. Throw is going to be cut off. First and third with 1 down. Sounded like it was towards the end of the bat. And Altuve just dunks it in front of Renfroe in right field. And now got a 7-game hitting streak.
Just making contact off the plate. Great plate coverage. And that's how you hit over 300 consistently. That's how you hit 346 last year. With swings like that and advancing runners to the corners. That's 1 tough out in Jose Altuve.
At the corners with 1 out for Carlos Correa. Struck out swinging in the first inning. Gets a second look at Luis Perdomo. Strike 1. Strike two.
That's a good 1-2 punch there. First pitch, you got a call. It was a breaking ball away, and then he pounds the two-seamer in. See the glove of Austin Hedges. That's where he set up. He hit his target nicely.
In the air to center. Margot backing up. He will make the catch. Tagging at third is Springer. Throw is cut off, and the Astros have tied the score. 1-1 on the sac fly for Carlos Correa.
I look at that at bat, and I see a hitter just trying not to do too much. Fewer than 2 outs, runner at third. Rather than taking the big swing, watch, he's got to protect 2 strikes. He goes down. That's a half swing. That's a cricket swing. Just elevate it to the outfield. Tied up at 1.
2 outs for Josh Reddick. Single to right in the second. 389 start to the season for the Astros right fielder. This homestand, Reddick now 7 for 11 with 6 RBIs. .60 pitches from the Padres right-hander through 2 2/3. Altuve at first with 2 down. Astros have tied the game 1-1. Now a 2-0, and that's ball 3. From Perdomo. Ball 4, he walks him, and runners at first and second. On the third walk given up by Perdomo, and this will bring Darren Balsley out.
Well, I think this point in the game with the number of pitches that Darren Balsley's going out to just kind of calm him down a little bit. Last time it was a fielder's choice grounder off the bat of Marwin Gonzalez. This might be a situation where Darren's saying, hey, let's start him off with this pitch. They've got a runner in scoring position. He might be a little froggy up there, swing at something, and Freddie Galvis just reassuring things. Hey, make a good pitch and get you out of this inning.
Working with Altuve at second. Reddick at first, 2 down. A run in for Houston, and now Marwin Gonzalez. And it's ball 1.
First pitch changeup. Not a bad choice with that runner in scoring position. You know, if you can throw it for a strike, it wouldn't be a bad idea to double up on it. You get a weak swing and something on the right side where both infielders are playing back. That was a strike, but mislocation got him the ball. See where Austin was set up away, and he had to reach across.
So instead of 1-1, it's 2-0.
Yep.
Second time through here for Perdomo through this Astros lineup. Big cut there. Fooled, and it's 2-1.
Oh, 2-0. Off speed.
Two and two, back to the gas. Oh, kind of running away, good movement.
Talk about movement. That's two-team action away at 94.
Ball three, full count. So now the runners can get a start. It's Altuve at second, Reddick at first. Run already in. Big pitch coming up here for Luis Perdomo.
Yeah, an infielder's getting dirty. One of those ground balls to your right or left, out of your reach. Got to dive, protect it from getting to the outfield, prevent that run from scoring.
On the ground to Suaje at second base. Perdomo is out of the inning without any further damage. The Astros get a run. Time to score 1-1 through 3. Tied up 1-1, and we'll take a look at our trivia question. Answer.
Love trivia.
Time now to answer our Valley View Casino trivia question. Say Altuve, one of 8 players in Major League history to win the batting title, MVP, and World Series title in the same season. And the most recent player before Altuve to do this, and Buster Posey with the 2012 San Francisco Giants was the answer. And I do believe, Mark, you did get it right. You were the first one to come up with it. Nice job.
Thank you.
Christian Villanueva leads it off here in the 4th inning, and is now what is a tie game.
9 of 13 now for Lance McCullers Jr. in the first pitch strike category. Luis Perdomo is doing okay in that category as well. 11 of 15 for the Padre right-hander.
Perdomo up to 68 pitches through the first 3 innings.
And that was the 54th pitch for Lance McCullers.
Padres got to him for a run in the first inning. Run scored on a pass ball. Charge to Brian McCann that scored Jose Perella. Swing and a miss, and Villanueva strikes out. Second time that's happened tonight for Villanueva. Strikeout number 4 for Lance McCullers.
And the Astros fans are used to seeing this curveball from McCullers Jr. and the strikeout. He is known for that.
One out, 4 in a row retired by McCullers, and there's Hunter Renfroe.
10.26 strikeouts per 9 innings for the right-hander.
Renfroe grounded out to third base in the first inning, 0 for 1. Broken bat, pop up into shallow left, and it's a shortstop Correa who's out there to make the catch well into left field. Business part of the bat ended up off the netting behind home plate.
Yeah, couldn't tell if that was a little bit too quick to the baseball out front or getting to the kitchen of Hunter Renfroe.
2 outs in the fourth, and Carlos Asuaje coming up. Rounded out shortstop in the second, 0 for 1. Colors has allowed just the 1 hit. Jose Pirela with a single in the first inning. And in the groove right now. Line to left, and Asuaje with an opposite field base hit. A 2-out single for Asuaje, and a pretty swing, and aboard with 2 down.
Second time around, has had a good look at McCullers Jr. and, like you said, Don, nice and easy swing. McCann wants it inside. It's a hanging breaking ball up and away. He gets on top of that ball, spanks a safety to left. You know, if you're a left-handed hitter in this ballpark and you can manipulate the shillelagh to go the opposite way, you can play pepper off that auxiliary scoreboard all night long, don't you think?
Yep. 315 down the line and left. Freddie Galvis will take strike 1. Walked in the second inning. Colors has given up 3 walks so far in his outing through 3 2/3. A shift on Galvis in the infield. Not seen a great many teams shifting on Galvis. The Astros do.
Maybe because of the curveball.
Could be.
Speeds up the bat a little bit, right? Therefore, chances are curveball, ball in play, pull it to the right side. Just a thought. You know what else I like about the camera angles here in Houston as we take a look at the defense for Houston. Pull on the infield, go the other way in the outfield. The straight on look from center field, pitcher to catcher. I love that. Rather than offset a little bit.
Runner takes off, kind of a delayed steal, and out. No! Safe for Asuaje at second base. Throw beat him, tag did not. And we'll see if they're going to challenge this or not. McCann's looking into his own dugout. He wants A.J. Hinch to do that. We'll take a look.
Delayed steal, and does Asuaje do a little matrix here? Kind of tough to tell if he gets him on the belt buckle, or this might give us a good idea here. Asuaje trying to, but was his foot on the bag already?
No challenge here. Charge a wild pitch on the plate, so no stolen base.
So that ball was in the dirt.
Galvis strikes out, and that'll end the inning. 5 strikeouts for McCullers, game tied 1-1. it's time for Buzz the Booth, I believe. It is. Hey, Bud, Don, if you guys were to ditch the razors for a month or so, who would grow the better beard? What do you think, Mudley?
First of all, I would not mind ditching the razor because, quite frankly, it's too much time to shave the face, right?
Right.
And plus the chrome dome.
You got the head and the face to deal with as far as shaving goes.
So what do you think?
I think I would have a better beard, but it'd be ugly.
I think you would too.
But plus you have patches going on, right? You have some patching going on?
Not really.
No?
No.
Okay.
I think you would win that contest, though.
Can Buzz the Booth.
Thanks for your questions. Would you look like Gaddis?
No. I don't think I would ever let it get quite that long.
We've been getting good reviews on your Van Dyke.
Which I still don't know what that is. Gaddis walked in the second inning. And if you have a question, hashtag Buzz the Booth SD. And you can also do it via video.
Yeah, that's right.
We want to see some people.
Yeah.
I want to see you here on Fox Sports San Diego. Evan Gaddis, Brian McCann, Derek Fisher expected in the inning. And this is up the middle, ranging as a Suaje, reaching at first to be Gaddis. Not sure what he tried to do. I thought he was trying to flip it to Galvis to throw. And ended up kind of flipping it up in the air, and reaching at first is Gaddis.
Don, I think you're exactly right, because he was going so hard to his right as we take another look. I think he wanted to flip it to Freddie. Yep, that was his intent. Ball just stuck in the webbing of his glove a little bit too much, and playing a little hacky sack there with himself. Little game of flip.
So Gaddis at first. Here's McCann. Padres shifting in the infield right side. That misses inside. And they'll keep it tight to the infield on that shift with the double play possibilities. It's inside, now outside, and Perdomo falls behind here at 2-0. 75th pitch coming, and it's popped up foul. Back it out of play.
You know, you saw early in the at-bat, early counts where Galvis, he was actually splitting second and third and then in near the grass. Now he's backing up. It's a hitter's count, 2-1 for Brian McCann. You never know. These guys, you know, they come up, they might want to push bunts one the opposite way when the shift is on. But if it's a hitter's count, these guys are going to want to try to first and third you, or try to hit something out of the ballpark.
Chop foul. Full count now. A lot of full counts tonight for Perdomo, largely the reason. And there have been 6 full counts. This pitch count is where it's at. This is pitch 78 without an out in the 4th inning. And a foul. Keep this count 3-2.
You know, I tell this story about twice a year. Dennis Rasmussen, big, tall left-hander, I played with him, and Pat Dobson, God rest his soul, he was our pitching coach. But Razzie worked slowly, always full count, always 3-2. So Dauber dubbed him Count Full Count. Luis Perdomo in this particular game is almost there.
In the air to right field. Renfroe moving back will get there. Right in front of the warning track for out number 1. Let's check back in with Bob.
No, that last pitch to get McCann was a slider, and I think the slider has been one of the better pitches for Luis Perdomo tonight. The fastball command hasn't been all that, but there in the 1st inning, he puts away Berg, and later on gets the pop-up up on the backdoor slider, Chris. See ya. He's done a nice job of using that slider to get himself out of some of these jams, guys. And it's also helped to speed up the fastball. We've seen a couple of strike threes taken, guys looking for sliders. For me, the slider has been one of his more effective pitches tonight.
Yeah, Bob, I totally agree. And another thing, I think that when he throws that for a first pitch strike, boy, that does wonders for that certain at-bat when he can do that.
It really does, because these guys are looking for that sinker. That's the number one thing you're going to look for. And there's another nice little backdoor slider for strike one. But as you can see, they're hunting fastball consistently against him. They're not getting good swings on that slider. And he's been throwing it for a strike as well as we've seen him do it, guys.
Derek Fisher getting his second look at Perdomo. And a ground to right side. Could be two. A swat hit a second for one. And the first base not in time.
Yeah, he can fly.
Fisher gets down the line very well. Even though that ball was hit sharply, Gaddis is retired 4-6 on the force out at second.
Fastest guy on the team, Derek Fisher from the left side. The grounder, he knows that he's got to turn it on. Head down, pump of the arms. Beating it out. Boy, Gaddis almost got that one right in the grill, didn't he?
Very close.
I mean, that was late getting down.
So Fisher at first with two down turns the lineup over. And George Springer gets his third look at Perdomo. Another throw over. Springer has lined out to the shortstop, single to center, and scored. Again, they check on Fisher. In tight. Eleven extra base hits in the postseason. George Springer. High strike call has Springer looking back 1-1. Springer 28 years old, an all-star, Silver Slugger for the first time both in his career. World Series MVP. For the first again. A little closer that time. I'll be thinking here with two outs or Fisher may be on the move.
Yep. Yeah, with that speed of his, no doubt.
Ball 2, 2-1. And we'll see if it's any kind of jump here in the action count. Not going, and Springer fouls it off. It's a piece of the home plate umpire. We're talking about the 11 extra base hits in the postseason. How about 5 in the World Series? Home runs, 7 RBIs. Part of the reason that he was the World Series MVP.
That's having a pretty good series.
Wow. Runner goes, grounder to short. Galvis on the backhand. Throw is good and in time, and the inning is over. We played 4 in Houston. Tied up 1-1. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Tuck Turtle Turf, a full landscape design company. And by Sequan Casino, opening in 2019 as Sequan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. Back in Houston, Texas, and Minute Maid Park, site of Game 1 of a 3-game series between the Padres and the Astros. Padres struck first in the first with a run. Astros answered with a run in the third. We're tied 1-1 into the fifth. There, Corey Spangenberg leading it off for the Padres, and is the DH, playing American League rules in American League ballpark. Spangenberg, who struck out swinging in the second inning, finds himself down 0-2. Now with the count as it is, the Astros go into a shift on the right side.
Protection mode for Spangenberg, that's for sure.
He strikes out for the second time tonight, making it 6 strikeouts for Lance McCullers.
And he got it with the curveball, which is the common theme for the young right-hander. Pitchers have their comfort zone. Certain parts of the strike zone where they go to when they want to throw a strike. Well, Lance McCullers has that comfort zone as far as throwing the curveball more times than not. That's just a tough pitch to lay off when you've got 2 strikes on you.
1 out for Austin Hedges. Walk in the third inning. Only 2 hits given up by the Astros starter. Single in the first, single in the 4th inning. It's been it.
You know what I like to look at? Okay, Lance McCullers Jr., curveball, 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 right? Take the swings, take the hitters out of it. If you could go back and see what pitches are legit strikes if taken. You know what I'm getting at? To where if the pitch was taken rather than swung at, would it be a strike?
Fisher can't get it. It's just out of his reach. And heading for 2 is Hedges. Throw headed in that direction, and Austin is in with a 1-out double. Laser to left on a line, and Fisher's got great speed just out of his reach. And Hedges with a 1-out double.
Now, elaborating on the point I was just making, look at this one right here. Now, if taken, probably a strike at a knee high. So it enables Austin Hedges to get out in front of it, pull it, and just out of the reach of Fisher in left field. Now Austin's got to turn it on. A little sticking to that infield. Still a moist infield there.
Padres 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and Margot not waiting around. He takes a hack and fouls it back. 0 for 2, having grounded out to third and grounded out to second.
You know, after seeing all those curveballs down, that 94 looks like 104, doesn't it? That's got to get up on you quickly. When you majority throw off speed, off speed, off speed, heater, mid-90s, 96.
And the reaction of the hitters, you can certainly tell that it seems harder than it is. Strikeouts on curveballs, 108 for McCullers. Cooper and Godley ahead of him. And foul at the plate. That was last year. Pitch 75 coming up for McCullers, who has 6 strikeouts in 4 1/3 innings.
So 1-2. What are you banking on here? The old number 2, right?
I think so.
1 and 2 count. He'll throw it 86% of the time. The curveball.
In on the hands, a fastball, and at first the flip is not going to be in time, out of the glove of McCullers. That ball kind of checked up on the grass, and started spinning backwards away from the oncoming first baseman Marwin Gonzalez. Colors goes to cover and throws a little bit behind him. It's base hit.
Well, first of all, Manuel Margot's got to check the batter's box for his thumbs, because that fastball got in the kitchen, en la cocina of Manuel Margot. That's a little pop fly on the infield, and he beats it out. That's a grown man swinging a bat full time and hitting it about 60 feet. He will gladly take it.
So a base hit, first and third. Every time that McCann goes out in front of home plate and gives signs to the infielders with 2 on in case of a double steal, the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn, has charged him with a visit to the mound.
Now I'm wondering if he would stay behind home plate and yell to the infielders and give the signal.
So twice it's happened, twice he's been charged. That's in the dirt, and McCann had a nice pick right there. And McCann, of course, charged with a pass ball. It looked like a cross-up in the first inning. It led to the Padres' first run.
How he picked that last pitch is beyond me.
Morella's ahead 2-0. Single in the first. He scored. First Padres run. He struck out swinging in the third. Ball 3.
Oh, good layoff there. 2-0 breaking ball. Oh, nope.
Hedges at third, Margot at first, 1 down. First 3-0 count on the night. And that's a strike from the Colors. Chance to put the Padres on top, tied 1-1. And Perella makes it a full count on that swing and a foul tip.
3-1 curveball, great location, outer half. And this is a swing that Perella wants to take and hopefully take the lead. He'll throw a 3-2. You throw a 3-1, why not?
Hosmer on deck. Payoff pitch. In the air to right field, sending Reddick back. Still going. It's going to be over his head and off the bottom of the wall. From third comes Hedges. He'll score. Margot trying to score from first. Throw to the plate's cut off. 2 runs in, and now they've got Perella hung up. He will be tagged out for the out. But 2 runs in for the Padres, who take a 3-1 lead. Big double for Jose Perella up over Josh Reddick's head in right field. And San Diego on top.
This is staying on the breaking ball because it's elevated the opposite way. That is just good piece of hitting right there by Jose Perella. Now the race is on. Ball is cut. Now he's caught in between. Okay, 2 runs have scored. You've done your job. Go back to the dugout and get a little bit of a blow there before you go out defensively. And with 1 swing of the bat going opposite field, Padres have taken the lead. Good job staying on that high breaking ball.
Now Hosmer with the bases empty. His 3rd plate appearance of the night. Walked in the first, grounded out to first in the 3rd.
You know, I mentioned he threw it 3-1. He threw it 3-2.
Put out incidentally on Perella went 9.635.
And his eyes lit up when that breaking ball 3-2 was hung on the outer half of the plate. That was a pretty swing going the opposite way.
Hosmer chops at it, and that with a lot of topspin is down the left field line. Hosmer's got himself a base hit. It's out of the reach of Bregman at third base. Hosmer here at Minute Maid Park has got an 11-game hitting streak now.
Wants it inside, it gets up. McCullers, the last few hits have been pitches that have been up, not where he wants them.
Two runs in, 2 outs in the inning. Hosmer at first, and here's Christian Villanueva. On the ground into center field, a base hit for Villanueva. Hosmer will stop at second. 4 straight hits here for the Padres off Lance McCullers.
We know that Villanueva likes to pull the baseball. That's outer half, outer third of the plate, and he still enough gets out in front of it to pull it to the shortstop side of second base.
And Renfroe 0 for 2. He has grounded out to third and popped out to short. Tony Sip up in the pen. First action we've seen tonight for either side. '87 pitches for Lance McCullers. He's given up 5 straight hits and 2 runs.
The breaking ball has been up for McCullers, and why not Hunter Renfroe, if he gets one, to do some damage with it.
Ball had come out onto the field in left center, so George Springer, the center fielder, over to grab it. Actually looks like
he's rocking the 24-ouncer.
Yes.
Taking the edge off a little bit for the center fielder.
A little break in the action.
Yeah, why not? A little social sparkler here in the bottom of the 5th, top of the 5th.
Hosmer at second, Villanueva at first. 2 down, 2 runs in. Three and 0. Behind a lot in this inning.
Yeah, the release point has not been there for McCullers, and the Padres have been taking advantage of it.
Carlos Suaje waiting on deck. Renfroe with a big cut, 3-0 at the green light. It's 3-1.
He wanted to put that one in the oranges, in the back of the train.
25th pitch of the inning coming up for McCullers. Full count now. McCullers threw 91 pitches in his first outing of the year. That was at Texas. That's strike 3. Renfroe goes looking. But the Padres get 2 in the inning. Jose Perella with a double up over the head of Josh Reddick in right field. Plates 2 and puts San Diego on top 3-1 halfway through this one in Houston.
Bottom of the fifth from Houston. Padres 3, Astros 1. Hey, download the app, play for free, and start your streak for a chance to win $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today. Beat the streak. Beat it.
Jose Pirela drives in 2. Gives Luis Perdomo and the Padres a 3-1 advantage. And Alex Bregman, who is 0 for 2 in this game, has struck out twice against Perdomo. Once swinging and once looking. There's a pop-up. Hosmer right around the bag at first for out number 1.
You gotta love those quick outs, especially after putting 2 up in the top of the fifth.
Jose Altuve on twice, walked in the first, single to right in the third.
You know, not that it matters, because the kid's a stud, but media guys got him listed at 5'6".
You don't think he's 5'6"?
Come on.
What do you think he goes, 5'3"?
No, I'm saying legit 5'4".
Yeah.
Like I said, it doesn't matter. The guy,
no, it's unbelievable.
He's fun to watch. He's an MVP. He's just a stud through and through. And
we're talking about MVPs and World Series titles in the same year of the guys that have done it. Pretty good list.
yeah, it is.
That's what I love about this game.
Yeah.
Is that you can be any size.
That's right.
And you can dominate.
That's the beauty. Yeah.
Altuve now, Correa next. Astros batting in the fifth. And kind of yanked that one.
You know, we talk about pitchers being a little bit too lateral, rather than kind of over the top. And what I mean by that mechanically, let's say you're a pitcher, right? You get too much east to west rather than north to south, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Donnie?
Sure. To center. Margot diving at center, and Margot comes up with it. Manuel Margot with a great catch on the sinking liner. 2 down.
That ball looked like he was playing tricks on Manuel. His route
east to west.
Let's check it out. He's on the second base side of the second base bag. He goes to his right and then comes straight in to snatch it away from extra bases.
You understand what I'm saying? East to west,
yes.
Not north to south.
Right. He started east to west, then he came directly south.
Not him. I'm talking about the ball.
Oh.
It felt like it went east to west. 2 down, Carlos Correa.
Well, any way you look at it, Magellan, that's an out.
Nice catch by Manuel Margot. Carlos Correa has struck out swinging. A sac fly to center in the third inning. Picked up his 9th RBI. In the air to shallow right. Asuaje out. Renfroe in. Renfroe takes charge, makes a catch, and ends the inning. A 1-2-3 inning. 3-1 Padres.
You make me the happiest man in the world. Will you marry me? Will you marry me?
Oh my God!
That was our Coors Light refreshing finish. Carlos Correa proposing after Game 7 of the World Series.
Timing's everything, huh? Great timing. Very romantic moment there.
Ken Rosenthal was a part of it.
Yeah. Was he the ring bearer?
Tony Sipp is the new pitcher. Carlos Asuaje leads it off. That is strike one. Lance McCullers done after 5 innings. He departs on the hook.
Love Ken Rosenthal, by the way. Big fan of Kenny.
As do I.
Yeah. He's so good. Well, one of the things we mentioned earlier, if the Houston Astros had one area to where they wanted to maybe be a little better, it's the left-handed relief. AJ Hinch is looking on. Only one left-hander out of that bullpen, and it's the kid you're looking at, Tony Sipp. So just a little taste here in the 6th with Sipp.
Out to center field, and on the move is Reddick, and he'll get there. Covered a bunch of ground from right field where he came from. There was nobody in center in that defensive alignment there against Asuaje. And Reddick really had to become the center fielder from right. One down.
That's where speed in the outfield comes into play. Also first step as the lefty lofts it. Springer backing up, and Reddick squeezing it for the out.
One out for Freddie Galvis. Walking a strikeout on the night for the Padres shortstop. Lance McCullers left this game after 5 innings and 91 pitches. 7 hits, 3 runs. He walked 2 and struck out 7. Padres got a run in the first, 2 in the 5th. 1-0 to Freddie Galvis. That one fooled him.
Well, the Padres did a nice job later against McCullers, taking advantage of some bad pitches up in the zone.
Veteran Tony Sipp, 34 years of age. And he fools Galvis.
You know, Sipp is effective. That last pitch we just saw there, it looked like it was an off-speed pitch, that being the splitter. He throws the 4-seamer, the slider, and that's his out pitch to righties. And it's a great pitch because he's left-handed against the switch-hitting Galvis. It goes down and away.
Used a lot, 222 games as an Astro. It's 2014. And this is sharply hit out of the reach of Alex Bregman. That left field line into the corner. And to second base goes Galvis. So a couple of tough pitches for Galvis. He looked bad on. He comes back and doubles one into the left field corner.
Another hanging pitch that the Padre hitters are taking advantage of. First McCullers, now this one on contact. Off speed, hard to the plate, speeds up the bat. The diving Bregman can't get it. That's a double.
One out. Galvis at second, and Corey Spangenberg. And Spangenberg, one of the Padres, glad to see Lance McCullers out of this game. Spangenberg struck out of the second, then again in the 5th. Both times swinging. Showing bunt and taking ball 1.
Padres need some more breathing room.
Tony Sipp in the final year of a 3-year deal. Signed as a free agent prior to the 2016 season. On the ground foul outside of first as Spansberg tries to move that runner along. Galvis with a 1-out double. And a full conversation with Carlos Correa. Strike call. Spansberg questions the call with bullpen umpire DJ Rayburn.
It was right on the corner. Good pitch. Longer.
Sipp has backed off twice. Much to the displeasure of my analysts. 2-2. Ball 3.
You got to be patient as a hitter, you would think, right? You get in a groove. McCullers was working at a decent pace. Runner on second also, you got to remember that. McCann going through a series of signs.
Line and caught. Altuve tries to turn it into 2. He cannot. As Galvis gets back, Spansberg lines out for out number 2.
Corey, keep swinging it just like that, kid. There's nothing you can do. He scalds this one, hits it right on the screws. And as a hitter, you know, you got the perfect swing. It's one of those where you don't even feel the ball off the bat. You hit the sweet spot and nothing to show for it.
So 3 hitters for Tony Sipp. He comes out. Colin McHugh will be coming in. 3-1 Padres. The Astros with 2 down here in the top half of the 6th inning. You got Galvis at second. And coming up in the 7th inning, stay tuned for the Arco game break with Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney. Austin Hedges coming up to face a new pitcher, Colin McHugh.
And with the trade of Garrett Cole, that put McHugh in the bullpen because as an Astro, a little bit with the Mets as well early in his career, he was predominantly a starter. His 3rd game this season, doing well against lefties in the short time, a 167 clip.
He started all 12 games that he pitched for the Astros last year. And now operating out of the pen. Tony Sipp, who leaves here with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Responsible for Galvis at second.
Yeah, a lot of cutters to go along with that four-seam fastball from Colin McHugh. He'll mix in a curveball as well. Sorry about that, Donnie.
Hedges has walked and doubled. Galvis at second base with 2 down, and they shift here on the left side on Hedges. As he looks at strike 1.
He's not a hard thrower. The fastball is going to touch 91. The cutter about 87. Cutters to righties, trying to avoid that sweet spot off the end of the bat and get it off the end of the bat so you get a weak grounder.
Two and 2 to Hedges.
It looked like the cutter there at 88.
4 years in the Astros rotation for the 30-year-old. Now trying to stick here in the pen. Swing and a miss. Elevated fastball at 92. Strikes out Hedges. They leave Galvis at second to take a 3-1 lead to the bottom of the 6th. The Padres have a 3-1 lead, and Luis Perdomo's night is over after 5 strong innings tonight. He threw 97 pitches in those 5 innings, but 4 hits, only 1 run. He walked 3 and struck out 4 in a much better outing tonight. He had first time out against Milwaukee.
Pounded the zone with his sinker, and Bob Scanlon made a good note of it later on. He was throwing that slider of his early in the count. First pitch strikes was a big key. Now he hands it over to Jordan Lyles. Fourth game for Jordan. Last time out, only a third of an inning against the Colorado Rockies.
Josh Reddick leads it off here in the 6th inning.
So very familiar with that mound out there, Jordan Lyles, first round pick back in 2008 for the Astros.
Perdomo finished up his night by retiring the last 6 batters he faced. And finished on a good note. You always want your starter to kind of finish with some confidence. He had his first 1-2-3 inning of his outing in the 5th. That's the night for him.
That's a good sign, because this lineup, you know, that's the 3rd time around, right?
Yes. He went through Bregman, Altuve, Correa to get that 1-2-3. Swing and a miss, and Reddick strikes out to open up the bottom of the 6th inning.
Good off-speed pitch, down out of the zone, splitting the heart of the plate for the swing and miss. Oh.
One out in the 6th inning. Frustrated Josh Reddick to the dugout, and Marwin Gonzalez. It's his 3rd plate appearance of the game. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd, bounced out to 2nd in the 3rd. Popped up, back a 3rd. Villanueva, Galvis calls and catches out number 2. Padres shortstop down the line and left.
And he made it very clear with the hand raised, the right hand raised in the air, indicating that I got it, I got it. Popped up. You've got Perella, Villanueva, Galvis. Yo tango, yo tango. For the out.
Two down here in the 6th inning, and it brings up Evan Gattis. He's been aboard twice. A walk in the 2nd, infield hit in the 4th inning. On the outside corner. Not sure Gattis agrees. Jordan Lyles, who fought for a rotation spot during the spring, working here out of the pen during the regular season, and was toward the end of spring training as well, but been very good coming out of the pen.
And he might have that type of arm to where certain part of the lineup in the game where you know he can throw mid-90s and above that with that breaking ball, and you face the lineup one time. It might be 3 hitters, it might be 6 hitters, it might be 1 hitter.
Eight in a row retired by Padres pitching. As Gattis strikes out looking, make it 9 in a row, and a nice inning of relief to Jordan Lyles, who strikes out 2, including striking out Evan Gattis, looking to end things in the 6th. 3-1 Padres. The Padres would score first on a pass ball off Ryan McCann. who'd score Jose Perella. Sac fly for Carlos Correa to center field. Scoring George Springer tied the game 1-1. Jose Perella gets this one up over the head of Josh Reddick in right field. And at plates 2, Hedges comes in. Margot behind him. And gives the Padres a 3-1 advantage. Perella would be tagged out. And McCullers would be gone after 5 innings. Tony Sipp for 2/3 of an inning. Colin McHugh got the final out of the 6th. He's back out there to start the 7th against the top of the Padres order. And Manuel Margot leads it off. A lot of spin by the mound towards Altuve. It's second. His throw is in time. Nice play. As quick hands as you'll ever see.
Got that right. How smooth is Altuve with that transfer? Knee high, flip throw on the money.
One out in the 7th, and Jose Perella coming up. It's been a 2-hit night, 2 RBI night for the Padres left fielder. Starter tonight for the Astros, Lance McCullers Jr. 5 innings, 3 runs on 7 hits. He walked a couple and struck out 7. On the hook, came in 1-0 individually.
Well, McHugh's not afraid to bury the fastball in it. That's evident. He's going to throw 91, 93, back somebody off. He can double up. He can go back.
Big swing on the 1-1 has him down 1-2. That fastball from McHugh at 93. Perella now, Hosmer next as the Padres bat here in their half of the 7th inning. Line into right field, a base hit for Perella. 3rd hit of the ball game for Perella. A little bobble out there for Reddick, but no further advance for Perella. Here's our Arco top tier play. And earlier, Jose Perella with that double to right field in the 5th inning. The drive in 2. Hedges and Margot both getting in.
He crushed a bad pitch, breaking ball up and away, and took it that way.
So a 3-hit night for Jose Perella, who more recently has just singled to right field.
And for the Padres, you got to get out of bloop and blast range. Got to add on.
Hosmer's been aboard twice tonight. Walk and a single. Wrapped around a ground out to first. Breaking ball. The frisbee drops in there for a strike.
I like that reference.
You don't get that stuff everywhere.
No, you don't.
Elevates, 0-2.
Up the ladder on the fastball. And McHugh, once again, he was a starter primarily, right? I think it's easier for a guy to go starter to reliever than reliever to starter. He's got an idea how to pitch. He's not overpowering. He can go up and down with the best of them. He could flip that frisbee up there.
On the ground to 3rd. Bregman goes to 2nd for 1 on to 1st. It's thrown over. the head of Gonzalez, and Hosmer will reach. Nice play down there, and a ball that kind of changed direction on the third baseman. Alex Bregman gets it over to Altuve for out number 2 of the inning on the force out.
No, that's one of those plays for Bregman at third base. You have to anticipate that because we know that Hosmer likes to go the opposite way. Altuve hangs in there nicely at second base, and the errant throw stays in play, keeping Hosmer at first.
2 outs, Hosmer at first and Christian Villanueva. Up and in, and he gets hit on the hand or wrist. Fastball up and in. Paul Navarro coming out, the trainer for the Padres, and his manager Andy Green to check on him, but he is in some pain. Oh yeah.
Paul Navarro, the assistant trainer, out there going through some strength tests. As Christian trying to squeeze the hand of Paul, checking the mobility of that left wrist.
Villanueva, we'll see if he stays in this game now. Looks like he will for now. Down to first base he goes. So 2 on, 2 down. Hunter Renfroe coming up. Padres trying to add on to a 2-run advantage here tonight in Houston with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Hosmer at second, Villanueva at first. Strike 1. Renfroe 0 for 3 tonight. Rounding out, popping out, last time up striking out, and all that was against the Astros starter Lance McCullers tonight. Colin McHugh getting the final out of the 6th inning. As the first 2 outs of the 7th, trying to pitch his way out of this jam here now with 2 on. Foul back, 1-2. Renfroe strikes out on a breaking ball that ends the inning. The Padres strand a pair and have a 3-1 lead at 7th inning stretch, and it's time now for the Arca game break with Mike Pomeranz and Mark Sweeney. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by RCP Block and Brick. Start your outdoor project at rcpblock.com. And by Petco, where the pets go. Welcome you back to Houston and Minute Maid Park, where Brian McCann leads it off against Jordan Lyles, Padres right-hander, back on the hill for his second inning of relief. Why not? Had a great sixth inning, striking out 2 in a 1-2-3 inning. Padres pitching as the club has retired 9 Astros in a row.
Into the short time that Lyles has been out there in relief, he's been dominant.
Trying to bunt his way on with a shift employed and fouls it off. Not a bad idea, but couldn't execute.
Kind of stabbed at that one. It was up and away. Kind of tough to get on top of that one, and bunted fairly down the third baseline.
On the ground foul. Do it again. 1-2. Villanueva in the shift on the right side, still checking the handout where he was hit on the back of last inning. But he stays in the game. And on the right side right now in the shift. Line foul. Lyles able to strike out Reddick, got Gonzalez to pop out, struck out Gaddis, and now in a battle with McCann, who has fly to center and fly to right, 2 at bats tonight. All that was against the Padres starter Luis Perdomo. Eighth pitch of the at bat coming up here for Brian McCann. And he strikes out. Loses the bat in the process, and Lyles with his 3rd K since coming into this game.
Don, you talk about threading the needle and going to the game plan. Look at the glove of Hedges, and that's exactly where Jordan Lyles executes that pitch at 95. And that's, you know, if taken, that's a legit strike.
How about the top end coming off that bat?
How about that bat, like nunchucks from Brian McCann, trying to wrap it around the other side of his body right there.
1 out in the 7th for Derek Fisher. The speedster has struck out looking and grounded into a fielder's choice. Villanueva, the Padres' 3rd baseman, in on the grass at 3rd. Always the possibility the pitcher could try to drop one down to reach with his kind of speed. Outfield playing for Fisher to pull. Strike 2.
Went over to talk to Jeff Blum, the analyst for TV with Todd Callis here in Houston. He said Jordan Lyles is the last Houston Astro pitcher to hit a home run. So the Padres got that going for them, which is nice.
Swing and a miss. And how about Jordan Lyles? 4 strikeouts for him since coming into this game. 4 of the 5 batters he's faced. 3 in a row.
McCann, fastball up and in, swing and a miss. Fisher, breaking ball down and in for the swing and miss.
2 down for George Springer, top of the Astros order. 11 in a row retired by Padres pitching. you said earlier, boy, it's great to have a guy that can be effective and give you multiple innings coming out of the pen. Certainly not just a one-inning guy.
And I think when guys are predominantly starters, as we see action in the bullpen, Kirby Yates up for San Diego. You know, you can go out there and you're going to have a little bit of
93, and he buzzes the tower. George Springer.
I'm just amazed that this ball does not get Springer. He's up on the plate and just misses that star on the left sleeve. Jordan Lyles is like, thank goodness that one didn't get a piece of George Springer. Don, it amazes me, these big league hitters, how they get out of the way of pitches like that.
Back where it came from, and the catch made by Jordan Lyles. He's doing it all in this game. A 1-2-3 seventh inning, a liner, return to sender. Sender made the catch. Jordan Lyles. 3-1 Padres. All right, Mike and Mark, thanks very much. This one is skied. Foul ground, third base way. Bregman, third baseman over to make the catch on Carlos Suaje. So Suaje retired here on the foul out for the first out of the 8th inning. Comes Freddie Galvis.
You've got the Padres shortstop and pick the stick tonight, don't you?
I do. I think I'm a +2 right now. A walk in the 2nd. He struck out in the 4th. Then a double in the 6th inning.
You are correct, sir.
Who do you have?
I had first pick tonight. I went with Jose Perella.
Nice pick.
Thank you.
3 hits, 2 RBIs.
With a strikeout, so that's a -1, but still I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm looking at 6-point night.
I wonder if Jose knows that.
He probably doesn't.
He doesn't realize that he was the first pick and picked the stick tonight. Probably not.
Some guys cringe when I pick them.
Yep. One down here in the 8th. Galvis fouls it back to the screen. It's 2-2. Mark Grant will tell us what we can and cannot do with the pictures of this game.
Well, Don, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
One out in the 8th and a 2-2 pitch to Galvis. Open left side, and he finds it into left field for a base hit. Eddie Galvis with a wide turn at first, and he's got himself a 2-hit night, aboard 3 times.
Hey, remember that promo we read earlier tonight, Beat the Streak? How about Beat the Shift? Freddie Galvis getting on top of a high fastball from McHugh. Nobody over there. Look at nobody there. Still nobody there. I love the ground ball to Derek Fisher.
1 out, 1 on. And Corey Spangenberg 0 for 3. Breaking ball for strike 1. Spangenberg struck out swinging in the 2nd, in the 5th, and then lined out sharply to Altuve at second base in the 6th inning. Throw over, and Galvis' little stutter step to get back, and he just did get back. Another wrinkle in that one, and it's 0-2.
Would it be fair to say that Freddie Galvis hit that one a ton? Galvis ton, which isn't too far from here since we're in Houston. Just a thought. Here's the 2-1.
It's actually 0-2 with 1 out and 1 on, and a throw over, and Galvis back to the bag. Some I acknowledge, some I choose not to. Pretend I didn't hear it at all.
Don't feed the animals,
no,
right?
Exactly.
I get it. Corey's been hitting the ball well lately. What a little 1st and 3rd action here. Lined out hard the last time up after striking out twice. He scalded that ball to Altuve.
Get the shift on here in the infield for the Astros, and they have kept it tight to the infield, the double play possibility. With Galvis at first and 1 down, and Spangenberg down 1 and 2, and look at that infield shift.
You look at it.
Spangenberg strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. 2 down.
Was it something that he could have hooked? No, you know what? It's a fastball up above the belt buckle, and Corey swings under it. Could not get enough top hand to try to square that one up, or foul it back to try to get another crack at it. And once again, I think McHugh's got a great idea of how to pitch out there. He's been a starter predominantly. He knows how to set up hitters, go up and out of the zone when needed.
2 down in the 8th with Galvis at first, and here's Austin Hedges. Fouls it back to the screen. Tried to turn around a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, but fouled it off. He's walked, doubled, and struck out. Breaking ball drops in for strike 2.
That's a good breaking ball. Almost like it kind of semi-buckled Austin. Coming from that left hip, then breaking over the heart of the plate.
Throw to first, and Galvis again barely getting back. Been a while since McHugh's gone over there. Galvis almost got nabbed at first base.
So as a pitcher, you always try to throw that ball on the outfield side of that bag, the second base side of that bag, rather than the home plate side of that bag. And first baseman will let that ball travel, right? Because the ball will travel quickly. Rather than catching the ball and bringing the glove, let the ball travel.
Or travel. 1-2 pitch. In the dirt and blocked by McCann. Swahe fouled out to third base. Freddie Galvis singled to left. Spangenberg struck out, 2 down in the 8th. Outfield straight up here on Austin Hedges. Very high. .35 pitches for Colin McHugh since he's come into this game in the 6th inning. Here he is in the 8th with 2 down.
Freddie Galvis getting a free start right here. Full count, 2 outs. He'll be off and running.
That's strike 3 on the breaking ball, and it throws Hedges. Back-to-back Ks for McHugh. 3-1 Padres.
Padres tonight preserving a 2-run lead, 3-1. He came in, he was very, very aggressive in the 6th inning. Perfect 1-2-3. Reddick, Gonzalez, Gaddis, see ya. And then the second perfect inning in the 7th. All told, 4 strikeouts and a little defense as well, helping out the Padres. 2 perfect innings, 4 strikeouts, and he'll turn the ball over to Kirby Yates here in the bottom of the 8th.
That's the 8th second out of the pen for Luis Perdomo tonight, and appears in his 4th game of the year.
Well, a guy whose confidence is just skyrocketed. You got to love Rowdy Yates out of that bullpen for San Diego. The fastball, the breaking ball, the split finger. Try to preserve that 2-run lead here in Houston. Pretty good splits early on. Lefties hitless.
Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, and Carlos Correa. Now you can make an argument that this is the biggest inning here late in the game.
Yep, absolutely. 2-3-4, no question.
Strike one from Yates.
And if he can paint like that this inning, Kirby Yates is going to have some success.
A combination of Perdomo and Lyles retired 12 in a row. Up and into Bregman. To this point, it's been very impressive what the Padres pitcher's been able to do against this Astros team.
Don, you made the point earlier regarding Perdomo before he gave up the rock to Lyles. Third time around, he faced Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa. All four retired. Jordan Lyles, perfect. They've been pounding the zone. They've been hitting their spots, executing pitches, and getting good results.
Bregman fouls it off to the right, out of play. Darren Balsley has to be very pleased with what he's seen in this game from his staff.
That guy right there lives and dies with each and every pitch of his pitching staff. He gets them prepared for each and every outing. Starters, relievers alike.
To center, it's a bloop. Coming in, Manny Margot makes the catch. Good running grab as with room to spare coming in on a flare to center field. One down in the eighth.
Oh, the first jump is ever so important here off the bat. Playing on the second base side. Bring it on in, Manuel, for the two-handed grab, chest high, making it look easy. Kid is
out.
Always smiling, huh?
Jose Altuve backs out of the way of a pitch in. One thing the Padres have been doing too is effectively pitching inside.
Yes.
If only as a show me. Something to think about.
You can call that the Missouri pitch. Missouri being the show me state. So they're showing that fastball inside of these Houston hitters with authority. Again, a pitch in.
I'm still trying to figure out Galveston.
Couple innings behind.
You moved into Missouri.
Yeah, going north. Looks like Altuve's moved off that dish a little bit as well.
2-2.
There's an off-speed pitch at 88. That looked like that split finger from Kirby Yates.
Two pitch coming up to Altuve with one out. And a grounder foul. 41,138 on hand tonight. 41,138. It's a sellout here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. On a Friday night, game one of a three-game series between the Padres and the Astros. 2-2 pitch. Fouled again. 95 from Kirby Yates.
No let up against this guy. But Kirby Yates has the stuff to where he can put him away, hit the ball weakly. Change up, splitter, slider, fastball away.
Foul back again. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up here for Jose Altuve. On the outside corner for strike 3. Altuve strikes out, 2 down.
Well, it all started with a high fastball. Now watch Altuve as Kirby Yates is really trying to establish the fastball in, making him do a little limbo rock right there. Once again, off speed, in and in. Out front, pounding the fastball in, pounding all pitches up. And then the frozen pizza, great location, down and away, perfectly placed. That was a great sequence of pitches. Hard in early with authority from Kirby Yates.
2 down here in the 8th inning, and Carlos Correa struck out swinging. Had a sac fly to supply the only Astros run of this game. They fly to right in the 5th. Fouled off very defensively.
There's another pitch inside. That was down by the knuckles.
Padres pitching right now in a stretch in which they've retired 14 Astros in a row.
So setting up possibly that breaking ball away or fastball away. Splitter. Bounce it.
Correa strikes out, and Kirby Yates has a 1-2-3 8th inning going through the toughest part of this Astros order. 3-1 Padres. Now that is what is that?
That's a mustache. That's big league.
Is that a goatee? I mean, it
no, that's
down.
No, that's just a big league Texas mustache.
Okay. Let's revisit our keys to the game. We're brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Throw McCullers a curve. We knew we were going to get a lot of those out of the right-hander's hand. And 5 innings, 7 hits. They took advantage of some high pitches. He struck out 4. And pick up Perdomo. Offense, 10 hits, 3 doubles. All told, 3 runs. And that's where we stand. 3-1 Padres.
And well, Margot leads it off and grounds one to second right at Altuve. Throws out Margot, 1 down. But quite a night for Jose Pirela in our Bill Howe plays of the game. As Pirela with a single in the first inning, he would score. As the pass ball brings in Pirela. Game's first run. Then this double over the head of Josh Reddick in right. Plays 2. He is tagged out. Not done yet though. A base hit into right field. Part of a 3-hit, 2 RBI night for Jose Pirela. Bats with 1 out in the 9th inning. Facing the new pitcher who had 99 miles an hour. It's Ken Giles.
The erstwhile Philly, been a Houston Astro since 2016, 34 saves last year. Trying to preserve and hold that 3-1 deficit. Always working from the stretch.
Takes over for Colin McHugh, went 2 1/3, giving up 2 hits, no runs. Struck you out 4, didn't walk anybody.
He did a great job. Even splits for Giles, 250 and 250, lefties and righties.
Did he go? No, says Sam Holbrook, first base umpire. Burrell, another chance with 1 down.
Oh, there's no way he went. I've got him and pick the stick. That's why.
I was gonna say, really?
He definitely went. No doubt. I'm looking for points.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Perella. Eric Hosmer waiting on deck. Padres batting here in the 9th inning. A team that is 6-1 taking on a team that is 1-6. You may not have guessed what's gone on here tonight.
It's all about the pitching, the Padres pitching.
Fouled off to the right, out of play.
Pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher for Giles. 4-seam and a slider. 97, 98 on the fastball. About 87 on the slider.
Perella grounds it up the middle. Correa is there. Back to second. Is throwing plenty of time. 2 down. Well, join us tomorrow. Brian Mitchell will be on the hill for the Padres, matched up against Garrett Cole. Mitchell 0-1, Cole 1-0. And so far this year with a nifty 1.29 earned run average. It's a middle game, the 3-game series between the Padres and the Astros. Gets started at 3:30 p.m. Eric Hosmer lines one into center field for a base hit. They were shifting on him. Springer gets over there to cover. Hosmer's thinking 2. Go to second, and he is in with a double headfirst slide into second base. 2 down.
That's heads up. Eric Hosmer has got the defense right in front of him. He wants to bury it inside. Boy, he gets those hands through quickly. See the ball off that bat, some serious topspin. Now with the defense in the outfield, they've got to go get it. Springer has got to go to his left big time, and he says, hey, why not take 2? Nice.
So in scoring position with 2 down, giving Christian Villanueva a chance here. Villanueva painfully hit, like in the back of the hand last time up, on a 93 mile-an-hour fastball. One around. Padres would love to obtain some more insurance here as they bat in the top of the 9th inning. That's strike 2, and it's 0-2 quickly to Villanueva. You got Erlin and Hand warming in the pen. 2-run lead right now for the Padres in the top of the 9th. With Hosmer at second and an 0-2 pitch coming to Villanueva. Fouled off. A piece of McCann. Hard-throwing right-hander Ken Giles looking in. To left field, down the line, it is a fair ball to the corner. Around from second base comes Hosmer, and the Padres take a 4-1 lead. A big 2-out RBI double for Christian Villanueva. Well, very important run right there. The double by Hosmer, then the double by Villanueva. And the Padres have a 3-run lead here in the top of the ninth.
And we all know how huge this hit is. The breaky ball catches too much of the plate. Padre hitters been doing a good job of that tonight. Speeds up the bat of Villanueva, and the Padres are adding on. Trading places with Eric Hosmer. The stand-up double.
Well, the Padres 3 for 12 tonight with runners in scoring position. And Hunter Renfroe will now have a chance to add on.
That is clutch.
Two quick outs to begin things in the ninth. Margot and Perella on ground outs, but Hosmer with the double. Villanueva double, run driven in. It's been a quiet night at the plate for Hunter Renfroe.
They're really opening up on that breaking ball. You see the front side of Hunter, shoulder, hip. Not staying on it. You know, we've seen him a couple times recently, the homestand, taking the ball center field, right center field on some breaking balls. Springer in center playing straight up.
In the air to left field, down the line towards the pole. It is a foul ball. Hunter Renfroe gives it a ride, but a foul ball to the left of the pole. Had the distance.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier it's short down there, 315, so he gets out in front of it just a little bit too early. Oh, that was close. That was close.
So another chance here with the count of 1-2. Villanueva at second base. And a grounder up the middle. Diving is Altuve. Turns and fires to first. It will be late. Pulled the foot of Gonzalez at first base off the bag. What a great try, though. Renfroe will reach on an infield hit. Villanueva takes third. Altuve with a spectacular bid.
Fabulous play, actually catching that ball behind him on the short hop. Hunter Renfroe knows that. You hit it in the general direction. Even that shift, Altuve's got a chance of getting it with that range. You've got to hustle down that line. He does just that. And the Padres prolong the inning.
So first and third, 2 down. And Asuaje now the batter. Carlos with a single back in the 4th inning. One hopper that is picked by Altuve. What a play. Now the Padres on back-to-back doubles with 2 outs in the inning. Eric Hosmer double. Christian Villanueva would follow it up with a double of his own. Padres have a 4-1 lead. To the bottom of the ninth we go.
helps as well, but let's start with the pitching. Perdomo, what he did late, locating the fastball, throwing the breaking ball early for strikes, and then putting them away. Jordan Lyles, yeah, he pounded the zone as well. Fastballs in, tying him up, and a little defense as well. Return to sender, makes the catch for the out. He hands the rock over to Kirby Yates. Boy, they pounded Altuve in, a bunch of hitters inside, and then went off speed for the strikeout. Some quality pitching tonight, Don Orsillo, and we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Brad Hand.
Closer into the game here, trying to finish it up for the Padres on the road and in Houston. And Josh Reddick to lead it off. Take strike one. Fifth appearance for Hand.
Want to be a closer? Well, you better forget, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, what happened the night before or 2 nights before or the last time you pitched, right?
Padres have made a defensive switch as well, as Matt Caesar has taken over in left field. That's a night for Perella, and what a night it was. Reddick thought about it, but it misses. Check with third base umpire Jim Wolf. He didn't go.
That's a wolf in umpire's clothing.
"15 in a row retired by Padres pitching coming into this bottom of the ninth inning. Reddick with a swing and a miss, and Hand strikes him out for the first out of the ninth inning.
That was a good old-fashioned breaking ball from Brad Hand, lefty on lefty, right down the middle. Oh, and talk about exposing that front side. Reddick, the shoulder, the foot, the hips, out in front of it, swing and a miss.
One down in the ninth inning. It brings up Marwin Gonzalez. He's had an 0 for 3 night. Padres are out hitting the Astros 13-4 in this game.
Keep an eye on the velocity of the Hand fastball. That one at 93.
Ball to strike now to Gonzalez. Rounds it foul above the Padres dugout. 11 strikeouts in this game for Padres pitching. 4 for Perdomo, 4 for Lyles, 2 for Yates, and 1 so far for Brad Hand. Bounces in and evens at 2-2. Marwin Gonzalez now, Evan Gattis on deck. Combination of Perdomo, Lyles, Yates, and Hand have retired the last 16 Astros in a row. In the air, foul, out ahead.
Well, it looks like the breaking ball is there for Brad Hand. The velocity is there consistently at 92, 93. Seems like he's hitting his spots. Brad did pitch yesterday 2/3 of an inning, 3 runs unearned.
He struck out 2.
Gonzalez stays alive, fouling it back. That came into the tie game. The finale of the series against the Colorado Rockies. Walks were a problem.
3 free passes for Brad.
One out, 9th inning. 2-2 the count to Marwin Gonzalez again. Ball 3. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up here. It's been a battle between Brad Hand and Marwin Gonzalez. Ball 4, and the Astros have a base runner with 1 down in the 9th.
That is showing some patience right there for Marwin Gonzalez. Realizing they need base runners. Passing it on to the next guy, which would be Evan Gattis. You know, this game tonight, Don, has been kind of uncharacteristic for these Astros. They've struck out 11 times tonight. Remember, I mentioned it in our open. This was a team last year, lowest strikeout percentage in all of Major League Baseball. Not only the high slugging percentage, but they put the ball in play.
Gattis to right. Renfroe is there for out number 2 of the 9th inning. Right at him. Gattis disposed of with 1 pitch by Brad Hand. And it'll bring up a pinch hitter. Max Stassi coming up. Five for 11 so far in 4 games, coming off the bench here to pinch hit for Brian McCann, the Astros catcher. Lifts it down the right field line, out of play. The 7-year-old making an opening day roster for the first time in his career. Played 14 games in the big leagues last year with the Astros. Another pinch hitter, and Jake Marisnick has come out on deck. Brad Hand would like to take care of business right here. 0-1 pitch coming up. Strike 2, and it's 0-2. Last time the Padres won here at Minute Maid Park, got to go back to 2012 in their last visit here, June 28th. Nick Vincent picked up the win in a 7-3 victory. 0-2 pitch from Brad Hand. He struck him out, and the Padres win. They come into Houston and take on the defending world champions and beat them 4-1 in tonight's game, and some spectacular pitching in this game for the San Diego Padres.
Perdomo to Lyles, hands it over to Yates, in hand with the breaking ball. He was spot on with his location. What a way to end this one in the Space City in Game 1.
Padres take the first one, grab their 2nd win of the year. It is time now for Padres